important. Understand, can have distraction from the search for happiness. Talking about the same Vedanta. This is also, this is again this problem. It's like, coating the eyes to substantiate the ears. ऐसा नहीं होता है. So anyway, it has problems. In understanding Vedanta, there are problems. That's why parampara is important. Traditional approach is important. Plus, आराम से बैठ के पढ़ना बहुत important. This anxiety, trying to reach out to the truth quickly, it doesn't work. Generally, we always, even on the path to the truth, we remain the same person as we are in our business house. Just as, how, just on the path to, in our worldly business, how, and we try to follow the same method. That's not. There it is anxiety, there it is tact, there it is a game of chess. In this world, you are all the time playing the game of chess. In understanding the truth, you throw the game of the chess away and you don't play the game. You just understand what is. The moment you stop playing the games, you are peaceful, because what disturbs man? Not what others play. अपने आप. That is why Antahkarana Shuddhi is emphasized so much. The mental purity is emphasized so much by Vedanta. That's why Bhagavan ki prarthana, Om Namah Shivaya, Gayatri is all for what? Mental purity is not for some material end. Generally, whenever you pray and pray and pray only for a material end, you miss the mental purity. I'm telling you. You go on praying for material result, then you will lose, because what you pray for, that you get. Prayer is incomplete unless it includes what you pray for. Sankalpana ke bina prayer simply say, sankalp, what I pray for. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tams tathaiva bhajamyaham, wo to satya hai. Simply just because one says Om Namah Shivaya, it doesn't mean anything unless he knows, unless he is very clear what he says it for. What do I want? That's very important. Hey Bhagavan, give me a purer mind. If there are problems in one's heart, hey Bhagavan, resolve my jealousy, resolve my hatred, take away all the rubbish in my heart. Take away all the antahkarana ashuddhi. ऐसा कहने से तब शुद्धि होती है. Supposing you pray to God and say, Bhagavan, give me money, Bhagavan will give you money. In fact, it becomes very easy for him. This joka prays and asks for money. Money for Bhagavan, giving money is the easiest thing. Do you know what is the most difficult for Bhagavan? To turn you towards Vedanta. That is a difficult thing. That is why whenever you ask for mental purity, Bhagavan says, hey Bhagavan, मैं क्या करूँ? हाँ जी. Whenever you say, hey Bhagavan, give me mental purity, Bhagavan says, hey Bhagavan. Bhagavan also says, hey Bhagavan, मैं क्या करूँ? Because that is the real thing. We ask for money, it is all like, दे दो. Bhagavan says, दे दो. Says, मुझे थोड़ा name चाहिए, दे दो. और एक घर चाहिए, दे दो. और एक फैक्ट्री चाहिए, दे दो. और एक मेम साहब चाहिए, दे दो. When you ask for these material things, Bhagavan he doesn't answer those prayers. He has got personal assistants. When you ask for mental purity, then he attends. ये आसान नहीं है. To give chitta shuddhi is not आसान. To turn man's mind towards the truth is not easy, because he is so lost in the world. Therefore, jignasa. Very important. Okay. We'll continue it later on. Swamiji, don't make this another second interim in between class. अभी हम इसमें जाएंगे. We have been waiting for this Chandogya for the last so many years. Now the time has come, and again you go back to the prayers. Hari Om. We have seen. Let us repeat the Shanti mantra. No whistling. Om Apyayantu Mamangani Vak Pranaschakshushrotramatho Balamindriyani cha sarvani Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Mama Brahma Nirakarot Anirakaranam Asvanirakaranam me astu Karanam me astu Tadatmani Nirateya Upanishadsu Dharmaste mayi santu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Therefore, the moment a person becomes a student of Vedanta, he should not be a student of Vedanta, should not look upon himself. Studying Vedanta should not be looked upon as one of the pursuits, that is the pursuit. So, having understood this, then also understand that there are Anubandha Chatushtayas, in the sense there are fourfold Anubandhas related to Karmakanda and related to Vedanta. The Karmakanda has a topic and Vedanta has another topic. It's a different topic. The topics of Karmakanda and Vedanta are different. The students are also different. The relationships are different. And the purpose also is different. The Karmakanda's purpose is all purely material. Purely material. Nothing else. Here and hereafter. Here and hereafter. Purely material. Comes to Vedanta. It is purely about, it's purely spiritual. Purely about the subject. There it is in the form of doing an action, a ritual. Here it is, oneself is the topic, understanding. And there, having performed the ritual, I have to wait in time. Here, as I understand myself, I become liberated. The more I become clear, with every clarity, I am liberated. It doesn't mean that the absolute liberation has got any gradation, but one can feel the relief being gained. One can feel the bonds falling apart as you become clear about the truth. As you get insight into the truth. Even to be very serious, to look at the Sushupti seriously, when you look at Sushupti seriously, itself liberates you. Why? Because Sushupti is not an event that happened in the past. Sushupti is one's presence. Absolute serenity is one's presence. Even now, that is one's presence. Plus the thought, I am the body. What is Jagrat? Sushupti plus the thought that I am the body. What else? It is Sushupti plus the thought. And minus that thought, it is Sushupti. And plus the thought, it is Jagrat. Therefore, the presence of thought makes it Jagrat. And freedom from it, we call it Sushupti. But in both the cases, the Advitiyam is there. And anyway, having understood the Anubandha Chatushtayas of Karma Kanda and Vedanta. Now we are seeing Shvetaketur Haruneya Asa Ityadi Adhyaya Sambandha Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma Tajjalan Ityuktam Katam Tasmat Jagadidam Jayate Tasminneva Chaliyate Aniticha Tenaiva Ityetad Vaktavyam Tajjalan Shanta Upasita. Up to this we have seen. You have to memorize this Vakya if you can. I tell this, you have to memorize at least. There may be some people who would be more serious. Everybody may not be serious in a class, but there will be some. Therefore, Tajjalan Shanta Upasita. Hey, a student is told, my dear student, Shantaha means Shantaha San. With peace in your mind. Well, pray to God, think of God, not as another form, but as the source of the entire form, support of the form and the mind, and the resolving point of the form and the mind. Tajjam, Tallam and Tannam. Tajjam, Tallam, Tannam. Tasmat Jayate, Tasminneva Liyate, Tasminneva Aniti. Aniti means Praniti. It breathes. The universe is born of it, breathes in it, and resolves in it. And therefore, Etad Vaktavyam. This particular statement that was given in the previous Adhyayas has to be conveyed, has to be verified, has to be pointed out. What is stated in the previous to be believed, and what was stated before as something to be believed is real here pointed out. When you point out, that is Vedanta. If you state but don't point out, then it is Upasana. God is in your own heart, but I don't point out. I only state, but without point. I say it is in your heart. I don't point out how it is. I simply say it is very close to you. God is very close to you. He is there in your heart and you think of Him. This is called Upasana. But what is Vedanta? How it is in your heart. To be in your heart means to be in your thought. To be in your thought means to be yourself. This whole topic makes it Vedanta. Supposing I say, think of a cow, worship a cow. You have never seen a cow. And I simply say, cow is, cow looks like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. And cow is like this. Then you think of a cow and then you worship the cow. Supposing I bring the cow in front of you, that's called Vedanta. Or I take you to the cow and say, this is the cow. Yes, there is no difference between this is the cow, this is the horse. When I say this, that is called Vedanta. Hey, this is the subject, you are the subject, this witness of. So when I draw your attention to yourself, the truth, and I draw your attention to the difference between you and the body, that is called Vedanta. Pointing out what is evident. Pointing out what is evident. Pointing out what is evident is called Vedanta. Simply stating without pointing out, that is meant for Upasana. In fact, Upasana is meant to prepare you for Vedanta. ये बहुत बड़ी बात है. Upasana is meant to prepare man for Vedanta. Upasana, there are three kinds of purposes. There are three prayojanas for Upasana. One is Abhyudaya, for material prosperity. Sometimes you offer prayers for, you meditate, you pray to God, you invoke God's grace for material wealth. There is nothing wrong in it. Vedic culture accepts. जब भोजन नहीं है, भगवान से भोजन के लिए पूछने में क्या मुश्किल है कि क्या प्रॉब्लम, what is immoral about it? A person who is feeling hungry and he doesn't get food, hey भगवान हमें थोड़ा खाना दे दो, इसमें कोई immoral है? What is wrong in that? मैं तो जब गंगोत्री जाता हूँ, मैं तो हमारा प्रार्थना यही होता है, हे भगवान कहीं थोड़ा भिक्षा मिल जाए. तो कोई कहेंगे स्वामी जी आप तो वेदांत पढ़ाते हैं. तो वेदांत पढ़ाते हैं इसका मतलब भिक्षा के समय भिक्षा जरूरत है. दोपहर 8 बजे को वेदांत की जरूरत है, 12 बजे को भिक्षा की जरूरत है. उसमें क्या गलती क्या है? What is the problem? Therefore, Abhyudayam is the technical term. One of the purposes, one of the things for which we have to be pray to God is Abhyudayam. बहुत बड़ी बात है. Abhyudayam means what? All material abundance, prosperity. And therefore, when you pray to God for material prosperity with the absolute clarity, it does happen. It will happen. It does happen. When you pray for material prosperity, when you pray to God, God, this is what I need. Not that really I want to forget you. You give me money so that I can relax and think about you. This must be made very clear to him. Because Bhagavan a lot of times doesn't give you money. Why? He thinks always, you may forget him. Therefore, make it very clear. Hey Bhagavan, give me material prosperity also. Whatever, I don't have proper shelter, please give me shelter. I don't have this, please give me this. There is nothing wrong. And so that I can relax, so that I can think of you. Then Bhagavan said, तब तो ठीक है. भूलेंगे नहीं ना? नहीं भूलेंगे, तब तो ठीक है. हाँ जी, ये तो पक्का है. You have to make it very clear. The terms and conditions of prayer must be spelled out. This is one purpose. The second purpose is Abhyudayam. The other is Chitta Shuddhi. Chitta Shuddhi, mental purity. The third is Krama Mukti. These three things. Technically, I am giving traditional things. That is, you can pray to God for material prosperity now, or you can pray, or you can pray for mental purity. One can. Different people pray for different things. And there is a third thing. Hey Bhagavan, I don't want to come back to this earth. I have seen lot of wrong things on this earth. God, may I be born on some other world. And from there itself, I would like to know the truth and get liberated. I don't want to come back to this planet again. This is what is called Krama Mukti. Krama Mukti means what? I don't want to come back to this. I don't want to come back. Just, an expression of one's wish. If one has a wish in it, then that wish, whom else can you express? The only one to whom you can express your inmost wishes is the Lord. And if you express your wishes, if you express what you think to another person, then he will conspire against you. He will conspire against your wishes. हाँ जी, ये बहुत बड़ी बात है जी. केवल हम बताते हैं सारी, ये बहुत जरूरी है. Whenever you say, the moment you say to somebody, I want to do business, then you will work against it. Therefore, don't express your wishes to anybody. You just express your wishes to the Lord. Therefore, the one purpose of prayer is mental purity. Another prayer is the first prayer. The immediate purpose is material prosperity. The second purpose is mental purity. The third purpose is Krama Mukti. What is Krama Mukti? May I not be reborn on this earth. May I be born in a better place where I see more nice. There are more nice things. Where there are people who are very nice. Where there are jivas who think differently, not think like the earthly people. You know how the earthly human beings think? You want an example? You want an example? Crabs. You know crabs? You put all crabs in a pot. Not one crab comes out. Why? When it tries to come out, the other crabs pull it down. गांव में कोई भी आगे नहीं जाएंगे, जो भी आगे जाने लगेंगे the others pull him down. ये प्रॉब्लम तो है. And therefore here Bhagavan says, anyway, this is the prayer is meant for these purposes, these three purposes. But the prayer that is offered for mental purity, ultimately it facilitates nishreyas. Nishreyas means moksha. That is why either you say the prayer is meant for chitta shuddhi, or you can say prayer is meant for nishreyas, moksha. Prayer by way of purifying your heart prepares you for understanding the truth right on this earth. That is also the purpose. This is the one. Anantaram cha. Now the next line, please look into the bhashya. Try to follow as much as you can. Anantaram cha, later on in the previous 5 chapters, cha ekasmin bhukte, there is a story. A jnani, when he eats, the whole creation feels fulfilled. Like Bhagavan Krishna, he took, something, when there was nothing, just one piece of rice, he took, and all that, that Durvasa and then the retinue, all of them went. They all felt full. Why? Because when the source is full, the creation also is full. When the source is full, the creation is full. Similarly, when I will tell you another story. Janaka was giving a bhandara. Janaka was a king. Who else can give bhandara? Only kings can give bhandara. Janaka was giving bhandara. And then they had a mystical bell. Some alaukika bell. When 1,000 people were fed, that bell would ring once. When Janaka fed 1,000 people, the bell rang once. Then it was going on like that, and suddenly the bell went on ringing. Then Janaka said, my God, everybody, all the king's men were confused. They said, what's happening? We are not feeding really like this. We are had to feed. Ek pangat to khatam ho gaya and another batch has to come, and in between the bell goes on ringing. What does it mean? And it is not even a man-made, thing. It's a mystical, it's a divine gift. Then Janaka himself was a Brahmajnani. Janaka himself was a great student of truth. You know what Janaka said? Please go and find out if there is a mendicant, a sadhu, collecting food from the leaves thrown away. If there is somebody who is taking something, then they found, Vyasa's son, Shuka, was having bhiksha. You feed people on the leaves, and the leaves were all just collected and put somewhere, and he was taking something. And therefore, when the Shuka took the food, he was a sadhu, and the punya that Janaka got was unlimited. When you feed a sadhu or a jnani, then what is it? Unlimited, countless is the immense, immeasurable is the quantity of punya gained by the one who fed. Just a story, just to tell. What does it mean when the source, when a jnani is fed, and the whole creation is fed? Meaning, actually, it should be understood like this. When you feed a sadhu, you have fed. A sadhu means the one who has dedicated his time only for truth. He is called a sadhu. It's because a person is by Vesha Sadhu. No, Sadhu means Sadhu is not a reference to the Vesha. Sadhu is a reference to thinking. The thinking means the one who is dedicated to studying the Shastram, understanding the Shastram, etc., and living a simple life. That is called a Sadhu. Clear? Ye baat these 5 chapters also tell. In one of the places in the previous 5 chapters, it comes. Now please see. Anantaram cha ekasmin bhukte. When one is fed. Ekasmin bhukte. When one person has eaten. Vidushi, and if he is a vidwan. When a vidwan, a brahmavid is fed. Vidushi. Sarvam jagat triptam. The whole creation is satisfied. When a wise man is satisfied, the whole creation is satisfied. Jagat triptam. Bhavati iti uktam. This also has been said. When a jnani is satisfied, the whole Srishti is satisfied. Please don't take it literally. It only means that old thing, that is, by knowing which everything becomes known. It is connected to that. It is like saying, by feeding whom you have fed the whole creation, by knowing whom you have known everything, by understanding which you have understood everything. It's like by feeding the waves, by feeding water, you have fed all the waves. Kind of easy. By feeding water, you have fed all the waves. Like that. Similarly, by understanding water, you have understood all the waves. Similarly, here also, by understanding the Atma, you have understood the whole Srishti. That is said, Vidushi sarvam jagat triptam bhavati iti uktam tad ekatve sati. And this is possible by when a Brahmajnani is satisfied, everything becomes satisfied, it becomes justified, it becomes tenable only when there is oneness of the creation with the source. That is what is said. Tad ekatve sati atmanaha. There is only one self. Sarvabhutastasya. And if there is only one self in all the forms, upapadyate, and that is tenable. Na atmabhede. When there is a division, it is. See, when you feed the water, you have fed all the waves. When you feed one water, you have fed all the waves. This particular statement becomes tenable only when the same water is there in all the waves. That much you can understand. Because the same water is there in all the waves, you have fed water, you have fed all the waves. You have fed the subject, you have fed the whole creation. That is why, understand, the greatest thing that one can do in this world is really comforting a conscious jiva. It may be a husband, it may be a wife, it may be a child, it may be a dog, it may be a cat, anybody, any jiva. Supposing you are called on to comfort, you comfort. Comforting a conscious individual. Comforting a prani. Because you are comforting the truth. I mean, in ignorance, it doesn't matter. But it is comfort. Because you can't comfort the table. Can you do seva to the table? The whole day you are cleaning it. क्या सेवा? उसको क्या सेवा? इसमें क्या सेवा है? सेवा वो होती है जिससे a prani feels comfortable. Feels comfortable. The elderly feel comfortable. In fact, I am telling you one thing, this is very true. Even the opportunity to comfort a prani is Bhagwan ka anugraha. Otherwise, sometimes you don't even get the opportunity. And in this matter, Swami Vivekananda said one thing which I liked. As in school, we used to read Vivekananda's literature. He used to be our hero. I'm telling you, now he is not. But in those days, now I look at him more realistically as another good, important sadhu. But as children we used to look upon him, oh, Vivekananda. All boys. He is very popular at our place. Vivekananda is very popular. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, all these are very popular. And while reading his books, one thing I came across. The poor people are the ones that help the well-to-do to purify themselves and get liberated. Moksha ka sadhana hai. The poor are the sadhanam for the moksha for the rich. Meaning what? By serving others, in fact, you are purifying yourself. This is a nice way of saying it. What is moksha ka sadhana hai. And therefore, by comforting the subject, you comfort the creation. That is the Vakya. By comforting the subject, you comfort the whole creation. By comforting any jiva. And sometimes you are called on to comfort, and sometimes you are called on not to make the other person uncomfortable. Good enough. हमारा कलयुग में उतना भी बहुत है. हमारा, see, what is the definition of serving in Kali Yuga? Not harming, is serving. Not able to follow? Not harming is equal to serving. In Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Satya Yuga, serving is equal to serving. But in Kali Yuga, not harming is equal to serving. समझ लगी? इतना भी आसान नहीं. ओके. तद एकत्वे सति आत्मनः सर्वभूतस्तस्य उपपद्यते न आत्मभेदे. कथं च तद एकत्वमिति? How is it true? How is it that there is only one self in all the minds? There is only one self in the entire creation. Ekattvamiti tadartha, for that purpose. I am this. Shashtaha adhyayaha, the 6th chapter, Arabhyate, is begun. The 6th chapter is begun to point out how there is only one self as the self of the whole creation. And there is only one truth, the truth of the whole creation. This needs to be pointed out. And in order to point out this is the 6th chapter, number 1. And similarly, that Atma, the self of the universe, that there is only one self, is one topic. And that one self alone is the source of the Srishti, the support of the creation, and also Tajjalan Shanta Upasita, that has to be pointed out. It's like there is only one water, and which is all the three, the source of all the waves, the port of all the waves, end of all the waves. Why do we repeat so much this source, support and end? That is what does the miracle. That is what does the miracle, because that is what is available in Anubhava. Something is beginning in us, something is staying in us, something is resolving in us. Therefore, life is nothing but a creation in us. Life is not our creation. Life is a creation of a thought in us. We don't get created, in us is born. Like in dream, we are not born in the dream. Dream is born. We don't take birth in dream. The dream is born in us. Isko kahan ji? If you are full of anxiety, can you understand this Vakya? Can one understand without the leisure? आराम से ना बैठ के ये वाक्य कभी समझ में आने वाला है? We are not born into the dream. Dream is born in us. We are not born into the thought. We are not born with the thought. Thought is born in us. Thought plays about in us. Thought resolves in us. Therefore, we don't take birth, etc. ये अच्छी तरह से समझ में आ गया, then what is there? Then what problem? Therefore, that is why I say the most beautiful thing in life is to understand we have not to reach any place, we have not to create anything new, We have not to accumulate the whole Srishti, vagaira, 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 vagaira. The whole thing, the whole existence has to be understood. So, this is the topic for understanding. Now, the last sentence of the introduction. Pita Putrakhyayika. The 6th chapter is indeed in the form of the father teaching the son. The father is teaching. Father is giving Upadesha to. The father is giving Upadesha to the son. What does this also have something to convey? That is said, Pita Putrakhyayika Vidyayaha Sarishtatva Pradarsanartha. It is meant to highlight that what is taught by the father to the son is the best of knowledge. The father would not give, unless it is the most valuable, the father would not give to the son. This is also a very nice observation. Bhashyakara's nice observation. Pita Putra Akhyayika. The story involving the father teaching the son is meant to show Vidyayaha Sarishtatva. Vidyayaha of this Brahma Vidya. Sarishta means what? Saratama means what? The most valuable. Sarishta means the most valuable. Brahma Vidya is most valuable. Unless it is most valuable, the father would not impart to the son. If it is so valuable, he would put him in a school. Jao, पढ़ लो जाके. Gurukul में डालेंगे. Jao, go on learn. If it is a question of grammar, I don't have to take. Jao. Sanskrit पढ़ना है. Jao अपना. There are so many Gurukulas. Where you can't learn in Gurukula, means in Patishala, where the Karmakanda Patishala, in that Patishala what you can't study, you study at the feet of your own father or at the feet of your own teacher, which is something different. Gurukula means it is a school in which various faculties are taught, where the grammar is taught, language is taught, astrology is taught, and then what we call the recitation is taught. A lot of rituals are taught, how to perform rituals, etc. is taught. These are all really the empirical sciences. The empirical sciences are taught in the ancient kind of Gurukula, but Vedanta Gurukula is different, where Brahma Vidya is taught. And generally in the olden days, Brahma Vidya was always imparted by the father to the son. Or you send your son to a person well known. A well-known Brahmajnani like Janaka, a well-known Brahmajnani like Yajnavalkya. See, Yajnavalkya also, his wife also had to learn. Therefore, this Brahma Vidya is great because the father teaches this Brahma Vidya to his son, the husband also teaches his wife. The husband gives to his wife what is highly most valuable. Okay. And I will show you the difference. The father forces the son to sit down and study Brahma Vidya. Whereas the wife had to go after the husband, teach me. Then he taught. Itna hi farak hai. Are you able to follow? You didn't hear? The son was compelled by the son. Baito, pado. Husband didn't say baito, pado. Wife said, आपको हमको पढ़ा के फिर जाना है. Wife compelled the husband to teach her, whereas the father compelled the son to learn from him. The father. इतना भी ठीक है जी. इतना भी ठीक है जी. These menfolk can oblige even in that manner. ठीक है. If the husband can really help the wife by teaching her, even when she compels him to teach, good enough. Pradarshanartha. This is over. Thus, The purpose of 6th chapter is to highlight these 2 points. Plus there are so many things. These 2 points, that is how there is only one self, the whole creation has one self, and which is also the source of ordinary, and which is complete, and therefore creation is also complete. Incompleteness is unevident. Incompleteness is bhranti. Insufficiency felt is bhranti. Hunger is bhranti. Thirst is bhranti. Desire is bhranti. Incompleteness is bhranti. The entire sansara is bhranti. Purnatvam is the truth about it. Because within that Purnatvam, now please, I am going to say something very important you have to hear. Every sound has a dimension. Every sound is measurable. Every sound is measurable. But silence is not measurable. Silence as the subject is not measurable. Silence is immeasurable. Every sound is measurable. Every sound is measurable. Silence is not measurable. Is not silence most satisfying? Is not serenity completeness? Is not serenity fullness? Is not serenity completeness? And the sound is made of that serenity. Therefore, every sound boils down to silence. Therefore, lack of knowledge about what the silence is, what the sound is. One is all the time, one gives his mind all the time to the sounds, he doesn't get down to the silence. Therefore, his view of life is that at every turn in life it is nothing but incompleteness, inadequacy, insufficiency and dissatisfaction. At every turn it is incompleteness, dissatisfaction. But the moment he draws his attention, he takes his attention, moves his attention from the sound to the silence, the object to the subject, there is no insufficiency. All that is there is only completeness. Therefore, this is the point that is made in the 6th chapter. The subject is Purnam. Therefore, the creation is also Purnam. Okay. This is over. Now the next is Shvetaketur Haruneyaha. The student's name is Shvetaketu. A man who is peace-loving is called Shvetaketu. Shveta is a kind of a, I'm just imagining this meaning. I think it is so. White. Ketu means the one who values something, that is purity. Whiteness stands for purity. And maybe some other meaning. Shvetaketu. Her, Aruneya, the grandson of Aruna. Aruna, the son of Aruna is called Arunihi, and his son is called Aruneya. He is the Pautra, the grandson of Aruna. So Shvetaketu, the son of a sage, Aruneya, Asa, there was a boy by name Aruneya, by name the Shvetaketu, who was the grandson of, was a great grandson of Aruna. Tagamha Pitavocha, there is not much time is wasted. To him the father said, Tagamha Pita Uvacha. To him the Pita said, Shvetaketu, hey Shvetaketu, Vasa Brahmacharyam. Hey, you are already reaching 12 years old, and one has to be given Upanayanam before one is 12. Generally, the Upanayana is, meaning you send the boy to school. Upanayanam is not merely sacred thread. Upanayana means taking the child to the teacher, taking him to school, actually putting him to school. Like in the modern times, you send the child to school when the child is still 3 years, 4 years old. But in those days, you have to send the child to the Pathshala, well, not after 12, before 12. Till the age of 12 you can keep sending. You may send him at the age of 6 or 9 or 12, it all depends. 12 years. And they had their own, I think, happy childhood perhaps. Not just, right from the age of 1, you really pack the child to school. Svetaketur Haruneyaha asa. Tagamha pita vacha. And Uddalaka said, Uddalaka is the name of the father. Now these two names you have to remember. Svetaketu is the student, is the son, and the father's name is Uddalaka. Hey Svetaketu, Vasa Brahmacharyam, live a life of Brahmachari. Brahmachari, Vasa means may you live, float, may you live. Brahmacharyam, may you live a life of Brahmacharya. Living a life of Brahmacharya, please, for heaven's sake, don't think Brahmacharya means only living a life of celibacy, as many these English translators translate. Brahmacharya does not mean celibacy. It is all idiotic. Brahmacharya means living a life of study. Bas. Brahmani charatiti brahmacharya. Brahma is Veda. Veda Adhyanam is called Brahmacharya. Studying. When a person goes to school and he is learning, when you are learning, that is called Brahmacharya. Not just merely remaining a celibate. That is maybe a part of it. That's a different matter. I am not saying against it. But Brahmacharya means merely study. And naturally, when you are still studying, you are yet to become a Brahmacharya, you are yet to become a Grihastha. Naturally, celibate, that is understood. There is no need for mandate. Nowadays, mandate is required. But otherwise, there is no need for mandate. After Grihastha Ashrama, supposing there are certain days on which you are supposed, during the pilgrimage, Vasa Brahmacharyam say, during the yatra, during the pilgrimage, if you tell a Grihastha, during the pilgrimage, please Vasa Brahmacharyam, there it can mean celibate. It's a mandate for celibacy. That's a mandate for celibacy. But you are talking to a small child, please Vasa Brahmacharyam, it doesn't mean celibacy. It means what? Study. Concentrate on study. Vasa Brahmacharya. Live a life of study. Ab padhai shuru karo. That's what it means. Padhai shuru karo. And then he says, why? Navai Saumya. Hey Saumya. Saumya means, dear or pleasing. My dear. Beta. As you say, beta. Saumya. Navai, not. Asmat Kulinaha. An individual in our family is called Asmat Kulinaha. Ananuchya, Anadhitya. Ananuchya means Anadhitya, without study. Brahma Bandhuriva Bhavatiti. And a Brahmin boy never went to school, never studied. He would only become a Brahma Bandhu without becoming a Brahmana. Means what? Brahma Bandhuriva Bhavati. He becomes only a Brahmana in name. Brahma Bandhuriva Bhavati. You remain a Brahmana in name. Without proper study, Brahma Bandhuriva Bhavati. You only become a Brahmana in name, not by vritti. One is in name, the other is in vritti. Vritti means, your life. Therefore, I don't want you to remain a Brahmana in name. I would like you to become a Brahmana in substance also. You should learn what a Brahmana is supposed to learn. What every Vaidika is supposed to learn. Whoever is interested, please try to learn. Whoever has got, if you are born into a Vaidika family, you better learn whatever whatever is accessible to you. Whatever is accessible, just learn it. Because learning is something great. Because learning is one thing really that brings fulfillment. It is not really. Suppose you give a lot of money to a person who never went beyond 10th standard, what happiness will he get? He will become a vagabond, I'm telling you. You give a few crores to a person who never went beyond primary school, what will he become? He will become just a vagabond. Paisa lenge, ghumenge, he will have pan khate rahenge, and he would be just painting all the streets, and then he will make a mess of his life. I'm telling you. Therefore, the best thing that one can give to the people, to the children, is give them education. Don't even worry about jobs and material pursuits. Study for you. You always study for your growth. You never study for a job. Afterwards you will see job apne aap aayenge. That's not a big deal. 2 roti kama lenge ji. 2 roti mil jayega. Bhagwan jab janma liye, then it becomes a problem for Bhagwan also. Bhagwan has, do you know what Bhagwan says? God helps those who help themselves also. But God also helps those who genuinely make effort but don't get anything. They also comes. Don't help themselves also. जब जन्म दिया है तो रोटी भी देंगे जी. One doesn't have to think of roti while studying. I don't believe in this job-oriented education, putting too much of emphasis on it. We have to go for common sense oriented education, wisdom oriented education, value based education, plus of course skills. Not merely skill. You just come out of school and then you are ready, you are so well. It's almost like a car, just comes out of the factory and put in the showroom, and somebody goes and grabs it. These graduates are also just shaped, and they come out of college and they are grabbed by companies, and then they know nothing else. Just they make money. They have a girlfriend, live in a barsati, throw the parents away. See? Well, what is this? This is not really. Then afterward, do you get fulfilled? And then there is a fight between the boy and the girl. Who is going to mediate? Parents anyway you have disowned. Supposing the parents are there, then they will always, they're all the time, helping the children to reconcile. Parents should be there to really mediate. Put some dimag into them. And therefore, in a Vivasa Brahma, Navai Saumya Asmat Kulinaha Ananuchya means Anadhitya Brahma Bandhuriva Bhavati iti. One does not become a Brahmana without studying what a Brahmana is supposed to study. And therefore, go to Pathshala, go and study. Go and study. Here, when Uddalaka says, go and study, be prepared to be put in a Gurukula and be prepared to study there for 12 years. The entire study is for 12 years. And he is already 12 years. And at the age of 12 years, when he is 12 years old, he goes to Pathshala and he studies there till he was 24. Okay, just keep it in the mind. Now, coming back to the point, why did Uddalaka say to Shvetaketu, go and study in Pathshala? He could have himself taught, need not. There are 2 reasons. A father need not teach all the faculties. A father may teach what is not available in Gurukula. Otherwise, generally you always put the children. Like sometimes, you can also teach a lot of things to your children, but doesn't mean really that you teach. Because if you teach, they may learn what you teach. But what about disciplines? Gurukula school is a place where you learn not only the various things, the various sciences, but you learn how to live with others. You learn to rough it out. You learn to interact. You learn to fight. You learn to reconcile. You learn how to live with others. You learn how to live with others. This is one reason why Uddalaka said, please go and live with others. The second reason is, maybe, this is one of the reasons. Bhashikara says, maybe, this is another reason. Maybe he was going out of town, he was going to be away from home for a long time. Uddalaka was going to be away. Sometimes you go on a yatra or something, and therefore he said, well, I am not going to be here to teach you, and therefore you stay. These two reasons. One reason is inferred, another reason is traditional. Both badi baat hai. One reason is, sometimes you put your children in a hostel for two reasons. One reason is you are not going to be in Delhi. You are from Delhi, you have children, and you are going to be transferred to America. You are working for the United Nations, and you are going to be transferred to Nigeria. Okay? And Nigeria means lot of mosquitoes, vagera. All that African countries, lot of mosquitoes. You don't want to take your children. You don't want to expose your children to those mosquitoes whose size is bigger than your children. That is taking too big a risk. And therefore what do? Put them in a hostel. That's a realistic reason. When there is no alternative, put them in a hostel, boarding school. The another reason could be, maybe it will help them. Maybe it will help them. There are two things. Both these subtle reasons. When you put a child in a hostel, reasons could be two. One is, maybe it will do them good. Maybe I am going to be out of town. Because I am not going to be here. I am going to be out of town. Therefore, are you able to follow? Both are thought of here. Why Shvetaketu is being sent to the boarding school? Because the father perhaps was going to be away from home for a long time. And also, what is the traditional reason? Only in Gurukula, a child comes up well. And he lives with others and so on. Any protected life makes one only unrealistic, etc., etc. There is a beautiful word. I will give you that word. Asuryam Pashyaha. There is a particular word called Asuryam Pashyaha. Means what? You live a life not exposed even to a ray of the light, a ray of the sun. Kabhi suraj ke paas nahi gaya. Because you never step out of the house. You never step out because you are scared that your children, that you will be hurt by the rays of the sun. You will be hurt by the clouds. You will be hurt by the elements. You are all the time living a protected life in your own house, in your glass house, full of comforts. You don't step out because you are all the time afraid of the elements, afraid of the people, afraid of the society. Therefore, you are given education inside, behind the screen. Everything you are a man making is being done behind the screen. Do you know how it is? You want an example? Trying to learn swimming on the cement floor. You are trying to learn swimming on the cement floor. Having learned swimming on the cement floor, when you get into the water, you will understand what it is. सीधा कहाँ जाएंगे? पाताल. सीधा पाताल जाएंगे. Similarly, having got all that kind of education inside one's own house without having any exposure and then one day you step out, then you will not be able to cope with the world. Any protected life will not prepare you to cope with the world. In order to cope with the world, you jump into the world. Okay, this is the thing. The bhashyam for it we will see in the next class. We will try to. Couple of verses. Context is created. The context is shown. Just a couple of verses. And afterwards, the topic will begin.